The bluegrass duo of Hazel Dickens and Alice Gerrard blazed trails for female folk singers. With their unique harmonies, they perfected their version of the so-called high lonesome sound, a signature of old-time American music. Hazel and Alice were also civil rights activists, using their music to speak out politically. To celebrate the pair's legacy, the Smithsonian recently released a selection of remastered and updated versions of their music. Ali Rogan recently spoke to Alice Gerrard about her trailblazing career.
Alice Gerrard, congratulations on the reissuing of your and Hazel Dickens' two albums, as well as the collection of music you put out through Smithsonian Folkways. These albums are going to be available for streaming for the first time, presumably opening you up to a lot of new listeners. What does that mean to you?
Streaming? What's that? So, yeah, I'm aware of that. And I'm very pleased at the way Smithsonian Folkways has gotten behind this recording. And I think it's great. I mean, the more people that get introduced to this music, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, childish love that I could not hold. I thought your love was a line of gold.
For people not familiar with the genre of bluegrass, before you and Hazel, there weren't that many women who were fronting their own groups. What did it mean to you to be kind of an outlier at that point?
Honestly, we didn't think about it like that. We were just sort of hanging around doing this stuff. We weren't thinking in terms of careers. But admittedly, Hazel had some what I would call difficult experiences. You know, it was more often than not, okay, let's let the girl singer sing a song now. And so it was not probably as easy for her at the time. But then when she kind of came into this circle of people like me and my husband and other people in the area who were also playing this music, and they just accepted her and encouraged her.
Sing the hymns we sang together, that plain little church with the benches all worn.
Your voices just meld in this incredible harmony. When did you realize that you really had something special?
I listened to her for a very long time before I ever sang with her. You know, we had these music parties where all we did was play music, you know, every weekend or sometimes during a weeknight. People would come over and bring their banjos and their fiddles and guitars, and we'd take turns getting up and being a band. And somebody suggested that she and I sing together. So we tried it. And then we just kind of kept doing it.
Some blues are just blues, mine are the miner's blues. Some blues are just blues, mine are the miner's blues.
Why did it take you so long to record after you started playing together? Because you met in the 60s, but you didn't record until the 70s together.
I think we probably weren't even thinking about that. It was just this thing, you know, when music lives with you, it becomes an accompaniment to your everyday life, and you just do it in your life. The reason we started was Peter Siegel, who came down to go to a bluegrass festival, and then the bluegrass festival got rained out, and he heard about this party and came to the party, and Hazel and I were singing at the party. And he really liked the way we sounded and asked us, wouldn't we want to do a record? And we were like, what? What do you mean?
Wow.
And so that was how that started.
You toured with Hazel on the Southern Folk Cultural Revival Project in the 60s and 70s, which was a gathering of black and white performers together to make a statement about civil rights. Why was that important to you to be a part of?
I was a political liberal. My parents were political liberals, and I think that Hazel, she was politically liberal too. I mean, she grew up in, you know, right next to all the coal mine injustice and exploitation of that part of the South. So even if she might not have labeled it as politically liberal, you know, it was with her. she lived with that. It was Bernice Regan, who formed Sweet Honey in the Rock and was a wonderful singer. And she and Anne Romaine from Gastonia, North Carolina, were working in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was their idea to put together a tour of Black and white musicians who would tour around the South.
And you have remained very politically outspoken. You performed, in fact, just earlier this year at the National Mall on the same day the Dobbs decision over abortion came out.
It seems ironic to me that this is a festival honoring women and their achievements, while at the same time the Supreme Court has set them back at least 50 years.
Why is it important for you to remain politically outspoken?
I think these are really bad, difficult times, and we're on the edge of basically catastrophe if we don't turn things around here. And so I feel like, when things move me, I feel like I need to write about it. I wrote a song about Donald Trump once, and we performed it here in Chapel Hill. And I don't always write political songs either, but sometimes I do. And I think there's a need for them.
And you are still creating prolifically. Alice Gerrard, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure talking with you.